investor in the White House, and the policies giving investors the timing couldn't be better. And when you see the opportunity, click below now to join.
What's up, YouTube? How y'all doing? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up, IG? Can y'all hear me? Lambo, what's up? How you doing? If y'all can hear me, give me a thumbs up. What's up, Taylor? How you doing? YouTube, can you hear me? Give me a thumbs up. Can y'all hear me? What's up, Coley? How you doing? What's up, Rella? Can y'all hear me? Okay, that's what's up. All right, cool. All right, Philly in the building. We can hear you. All right, that's what's up. So how y'all doing tonight? Y'all know the way how I do my IG lives. I don't have no script or anything like that. What's up, Coley? What's up? Yeah, you know how I don't have a script or anything like that. I just jump on IG live and answer you guys questions. All right, let's see. Someone said, how much do I need to start a box truck company and how much I make a week? That's a good question. So how much does it cost to start a box truck business in 2025? We're in July. In 2025, you're looking at about still, I always tell people around $5,000. Why $5,000? And I know sometimes you guys are hear the same questions answered, but you have different people that said, different aspects of their business. But let me just recap it real quick for you. So how much your LLC costs in your state? In the state of Georgia, our LLC is $100, but I paid for a rush. So I paid $200 for my LLC. Then the next thing I did was my authority, my own authority. So I went through a third party. They charge $680 to do my authority. And if you guys don't know, that covers your MC, your DOT, your BOC, and your UCR. $680. If you did it yourself, you're looking at about $400 to complete all of that. But like, this is the one part I always tell people, don't play around with. So that was $680. Then I paid $1,375 down for my insurance down payment. And then I paid $1,000 for my rental deposit. So I paid about $3,200. But I always tell people, be prepared to have $5,000, because let's say, for example, you have something with your driving record, or you got a ticket or whatever it is. Instead of them wanting that $1,375 one time, which I only had to pay, they would want it two times. So you're basically looking at about $2,700 down, worst case scenario. So that would have put me like a little under $5,000. So that's why I always tell people, be prepared to have $5,000 when you start. And yes, this is still in 2025, because a LLC costs what an LLC costs, an authority. If you go through a third party, like I said, my plug cost is $680. However much your insurance is, I can't control that. So it could be 1 month, 2 months, first and last. But usually if it's first and last, let's say it was $1,375 times 2. That means, like, let's say roughly $2,700. That don't mean your insurance payments is $2,700 a month. That just means that the first and the last is combined to one, which is your down payment. And then every month you would pay like $1,300 a month. So that's why I always tell people, be prepared to have 5 bands when you start. How much can you make on a weekly basis? That's another good question. With trucking, it just depends. It's kind of like when you ask somebody, how much can a doctor make or a lawyer make? You might have a doctor that make $100,000 a year. You might have a doctor that make 20 million. So the same thing with trucking. It depends on how many loads you do. If you're doing 1 load a day with Amazon Relay, you should, with the driver in that truck, you should be able to clear at least $100 per truck, with each truck. So if you do that, that's $100 a night. Now that's remind you, because I know a lot of people like $100 a night is not a lot of money. It's not, but you got to think about it. In trucking, the name of the game is scaling. I make $200 a night, but let's just say you only made 100, and you can scale your web to 5 trucks. If you have 5 trucks making $100 a night, that's $500 that you make every single night when you go to bed. You wake up, I'll show you how to run that truck 30 days. That's $15,000 a month net that you could be making. So that's just doing 1 load. Some people, like in Cali, in the Midwest, they do 2 loads. Some people do 3 loads. So some people will do Amazon at night. Let's say, for example, you do a load with Amazon at night. And if there's nothing coming back with the Amazon load board, then you can look at the DAT load board and book you a load coming back with the DAT load board. So it just depends on how many loads you do a night, how many trucks you have. So I hope that answered your question. Like I state, I make about $200 a night per truck. I got 5 trucks running, so that's $1,000 that I make every single night. Now, some people might make 150. Some people make more than me because they're doing more loads than me. They got a daytime driver and a nighttime driver. So the sky's the limit when you come to box trucks. So I hope that answered your question, bro. All right. But like I always stated, the money in trucking is with scaling. You ain't I don't care if you one truck or you if you driving that truck or if you have a driver, one truck is just not gonna change your life. Not to say that you can't make some money off of it, but the money in trucking is with scaling. Someone said, my name is Fernando. What's up, Fernando? How you doing, bro? Someone said, toughest obstacle is starting off in the first 2 or 3 months. I agree with you. Starting off is always hard. That's with any business, though. But once you learn that first 1 or 2 months, um, the sky's the limit. But the good thing about it is, I offer services that can help you guys. I have an ebook that's 99 bucks for you guys that's on the fence that don't know what y'all need to do. And you just, let's just say you somebody that you don't need a lot of hand holding. Grab my ebook. It's 99 bucks. Normally it's 199. It comes with all of my the LLC, comes with my authority person. It comes with somebody that can help you out with all of the aspects of ELDs, gas cards, all my referrals in there. But if you do need, a little bit more handheld and a little bit more deeper engagement, then join my master class. I have the VIP 101 master classes, which is $12.50. That usually Monday through Thursday. It's about 3 hours. Or I do have my big master class that I usually have like once a month, once every 6 weeks. The next big master class is August 23rd. With that class comes with leasing on for our first 180 days. So you get to bypass the 180-day wait that Amazon have. So if you guys don't know, in March of 2023, Amazon said you have to have your MC, your DOT, you have to have your authority, which means you have to have insurance for 180 days before you can apply to them. Join the masterclass, you get to bypass that. You get to book loads. You get to have 1 truck, 2 trucks. You book all the loads you want. They charge 10% to run under their authority. And then by your 180 days is up, you will be a pro at Amazon. For you guys that don't know, if you go back and look at my IG, go look at my YouTube, we're in the middle of Prime Day. Prime Day is when the loads go through the roof, just like peak season. I've been telling you guys that you don't want to miss peak Prime Day. This year they had it 4 days versus 2 days. So the freight is still, expedited, which means last year, I think I told you guys, Amazon did like $14 billion in 2 days. Well, guess what? There's 4 days this month, so I can just imagine how much they're going to make. But not peak season, Prime Day is when the loads go to peak season rates for like 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks. The next one, if you missed the one in July, will be in October. We don't have a set date yet, but if you go back and look at my IG, man, loads $900, $1,000 loads all day, every day. So peak season is something that you definitely don't want to miss, because we do have Prime Day coming up and then also peak season. All right. Someone said, how do I get contracts? Well, you can get contracts with Amazon too. I don't really mess around with a lot of the contracts with Amazon, but you can get short-term contracts with Amazon with the box truck as well. Some people like it. I don't like it because the way I book my loads, I feel like I can make more money on a day-to-day basis by using the poster truck and then using the spot load boy. Because when you sign those contracts, let's just say somebody signed a month contract back in June, and you got locked in let's just say $600 for a load that says 150, 180 miles, right? Now, when Prime Day just came through, or still is going on right now, but Prime Day, them loads is paying $900, $1,000. Now, guess what? You are locked into a load paying $600. So that's why I don't mess with contracts. Now, if you're talking about outside of Amazon, that's completely different, but that's the reason why I don't mess with contracts with Amazon. Someone said, if you lost all 5 of your trucks tomorrow and had to start all over with $5K and 1 laptop, what would you do first? The same exact thing I did to start off, to be honest with you. I would not go buy no trucks. I would literally start back. If I lost it all today and I had to just start all over, let's just say it didn't, I would do the same exact steps I did. I would start off with 1 truck. I will get that 1 truck moving 7 days. Then I will scale and get my 2nd truck. After I get that 2nd truck, I will scale and get my 3rd truck. So a lot of people make the mistake of scaling too quick. What do I mean by that? When you scale it and your trucks are not moving 7 days a week. So with trucking, you definitely want your trucks to move 7 days a week. So I would get the 1st truck, get the 2nd truck, get the 3rd truck. And I would definitely, I always say, get myself a mentor. When I came into trucking, I knew nothing about trucking. I didn't know what a box truck was. I didn't know what a cargo truck was. I didn't know what a semi was, but I never knew the name of a box truck. So I did have a mentor when I first came into the industry. Same thing is with real estate. Same thing with the liquor company that I'm starting. I don't do anything without a mentor. A lot of people, they think like you can YouTube University everything. Like I always tell people, you're gonna pay for the information in the beginning, or you're gonna pay for the mistake in the end. So I would definitely get me a mentor or somebody, even if it's not me. You might not like me, you might not want to do business with me. That's fine. Find you a mentor. A mentor will, I guarantee, will save you a lot of money, a lot of headaches. All right, what's up, cuz? What's up, Bacho West? My cuz. What's up? What's up? How you doing? All right. Someone said you have your authority on rentals. Yes. So in order to go the rental route, you still do have to have your own authority. So pretty much, so let me give you guys a little quick thing, because a lot of people, I get this question a whole bunch about buying a truck, owning a truck. If you bought a truck, nothing wrong with it. I'm not telling you to go sell your truck tomorrow. However, I'm telling you, if you knew the logistics, and like this guy just said he has $7,500 now. Like somebody that made a comment, let me backtrack real quick. Somebody that made a comment today saying, if you can't buy a truck cash, then you pretty much don't need to be in trucking. That's crazy. Why is that crazy? Because even though I had enough money, cash started enough to buy a brand new box truck. However, I did not. And I'm glad I didn't. It's 4 years and I still don't own a box truck. Because once you unlock the mentality where I'm going for with rental trucks, whereas you can only buy so many trucks. I don't care how much cash you have, you can only buy so many trucks. Then you got to worry about maintenance. Then you got to worry about, all of the nuances with owning a truck. Whereas with renting a truck, the steps are the same. Let's just say two people, one had $10,000, the other had $10,000. You both need an LLC. You both need authority. You both need commercial insurance. The only difference is if somebody purchases a truck, they usually got to put 20% down. Now, that's if you're not cashing out on a truck. But now, let's say a rental truck, all you have to do is put $1,000 down. You can scale a lot quicker with a rental truck, which means you can get a rental truck, you can get that truck moving 7 days, then you can get another one. You can duplicate that process, keep duplicating the process. Where if you buy a truck, not to say there's nothing wrong with it, and if you don't have $10,000 or $15,000 set aside for that first breakdown or any breakdown, it will put you out of business. If you guys hear the story, I always tell you, my first driver was my best friend. Literally, if you go back and watch that YouTube video in his first year, I'm not gonna lie, he a knucklehead. Love him to death, but he a knucklehead. He hard headed. He don't want to listen to me. He think, me and him kind of battle on stuff. So he went out. He was my first driver. He drove for me from January to September. Went out, bought his own truck. First breakdown, $2,000. The next breakdown, I think it was something with the oil pan or something was $2,000. Then the next thing was a turbo. That was like $5,000. Next breakdown, it was like the motor went out, $19,000. So literally within 1 year of him owning that truck, he spent over $25,000 in repairs. Think about that. If you have 5 trucks and you have to pay $25,000 in repairs, that's $125,000 in maintenance. That's a lot of money. Once you understand that I don't want to spend that, even though I make money, think about it. I just told you I make $200 a night, right? Per truck. I got 5 trucks running. That's $1,000 a night I'm running. That means on a monthly basis, I net about $30,000. Not gross. That means disposable income. I can blow $30,000 a month, right? $150,000 with 5 trucks. You know how many months that is? I done blew through my money. Guess what? My money, my $30,000, it don't leave my account unless I wanted to. I go on trips, I buy toys, I do whatever I want to do. Whereas if I owned the truck, $125,000, yeah, I still would be in the profit. But who wants to spend $125,000 servicing trucks? Or let's just say it was $100,000 or $60,000. Who wants to do that? I don't want to do that. So basically, like I said, I started my whole process of setting it up just like Turo, Airbnb, all of those platforms is pretty much, or even Uber. Uber, you buy the car, you pay the insurance, you pay for the maintenance, you pay for the brakes, you pay for anything that happens to your car. Uber just makes a little bit of money by somebody else using. You got to think of me. I'm Uber, right? What I do is, even though I supply the trucks, my drivers, if anything happens to those trucks, breakdown, DEF system goes out, guess what? I'm not responsible for the maintenance. So that will allows me to scale up and scale down. Renting, guess what? I could be in Atlanta, Georgia. I can put a truck in Cali tomorrow. I could put a truck in Houston. I could put a truck in New York. I could put a truck in Miami. By scaling, by owning a truck, you can't scale that quick unless you're just a multimillionaire or you got a lot of business credit. So that's the reason why I like rentals a lot. over purchasing a truck. But I'm not against purchasing a truck, because I think I did a consultation with somebody today. If you purchase a truck, just make sure you have a fairly new truck and a warranty on that truck. And then also you got to remember on the downtime. And this is the gravy thing right here. Why do people think, if, and this is, I had this conversation with somebody this morning, but anyway, why do people think that if you own a truck, that's just where it stops at? Why do we have the mentality that if I own a truck, I can't rent a truck? Just imagine you are one of those people that say, you know what, man, I want to own something. I want to own a truck. So you go cash out on a truck, right? You get your first truck. Or let's just say you cash out, you get 2 trucks. So you got a note on 2 trucks, which is nothing wrong with that. Let's just say those 2 trucks, because you own it, you making $300 a night with the truck. So that's $600 a night that you might make, right? With your trucks. You making $600 a night because you own the trucks. Now that's good money. Don't get me wrong. Now think about this. You can just continue for the rest and just make $600 a night, or why not why not rent another truck, put a driver in that truck. You already got an LLC, you already got authority. You want nothing else you got to do besides add that truck to an insurance policy and put $1,000 deposit. Now this truck, let's just say, is making you $200 a night like me. So now you making $600 from the truck that you own plus $200 per additional truck you have. The maintenance, you don't have to pay for it. Who don't want free money coming in? Like, think about that. If somebody gave you something that you could make money out of, somebody, because you don't own it, does that really mean anything? So that's where I'm at with it, if that makes sense. So I hope that makes sense. Someone said, just did the master class on Saturday, took it in-person training in Atlanta, Sunday and Monday, almost ready to roll. That's what's up, Chris Fisher. So tell me, how did you like the master class? Tell them about your experience. What's your honest opinion on the master class and Chris Fisher, and on the ride along? Tell me, do you think it was worth it? Do you think money was invested? I mean, well invested? And you can be honest. Like every master class, I always have somebody on here that is, that took the actual class. Someone said master class last Saturday was great. Thank you, Playboy. Okay, I remember you. I think he was the guy that was in the class that we was super, proud of. I think he's 19 years old. I think that's you. Is that you, Playboys? But yeah, I think we had a guy in the class that was 19 years old, man, and super proud of him. I wish when I was 19, I had my head on, what I'm saying, that straight, and wasn't chasing women and chasing other stuff. But yeah, my hat goes off to you, bro. Someone said, he said it was number one. He said it was worth it. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Someone said, okay, appreciate that, brother. So yeah, man, we got to open up our mindset and stop thinking that, like, when y'all hear people say own, when they say own stuff, and I know we like to own stuff because, a lot of people never own nothing. So owning assets, stocks, bonds, paintings, stuff that goes up in value is completely different from owning a truck or owning a luxury car, something that depreciate. So don't get me wrong. I'm not saying you can't own something, but a truck, if you just starting off, I would definitely start off rental, then scale up, then buy yourself a fairly new truck, if that makes sense. Someone said, I'm struggling to get a truck. I was thinking of doing a business plan with a bank. Do you think that's a good idea? Once again, I wouldn't start off, if you're brand new, I wouldn't start off buying a truck, bro. I would start off with the rental process because the steps is the same. Just like I always tell people too, I always use this as an analogy because I'm an analogy-driven person. But let's just say you went to a bar or a club and you saw a beautiful girl, and she's fine. She looked like your dream girl. Would you marry her on the first day just because she's a beautiful woman? Absolutely not. I know I wouldn't, just because she's beautiful. Or let's the same thing for women. If you see a guy, he's your guy. He's the look that you're looking for. Would you marry this person on the first date? I wouldn't. So it's the same thing with trucking. So you don't want to marry the person on the first date. So start off with the rental process. If you like it, keep moving, keep scaling, keep going. Someone said, if you missed out on July's Prime Week, you have the time to get ready to participate in the next Prime event, and October start today. Yes, so if you start today, you will be able to catch the next Prime Day in October, where the rates go crazy. The good thing about the rates when we start in Prime in October is, what I normally do is I usually scale up during Prime Day in October, and then what I do is I just keep my trucks. I don't return them. So I keep those trucks in October, because in November and December, it's kind of hard to get a truck. So that's why I scale up at that time, and I just keep it moving. All right. Someone says information and team was great. The ride along is needed because nobody's even looking at you in the Wealthy West. I told you that. So you show up to those warehouses, man, and you think Amazon is going to help you. A lot of people try to wing it. So most people mess up with Amazon when they walk into the Amazon facility thinking it's like that little boy where somebody's going to show you where to move stuff or put stuff. At Amazon, They not gonna talk to you. They not gonna say nothing to you. They gonna look at you like you're an alien because they expect you to know what you're supposed to know when you walk into that Amazon facility. So with that being said, you definitely got to get training. We have a 2-day facility training in Atlanta, which is $350. You or your driver will come to Atlanta and train. When my trainer go over the road to go do his drops, you would actually leave and go back to your hotel or go party in Atlanta. And then we also have the 2-day ride along, which is $400, which you would go along with the driver over the road to all the post offices and drops. Most people like that because they get to see everything that's handled. That's $400. Whatever night you book, it will be that night, then the next consecutive night. So if you did Sunday night, it'll be Sunday night, Monday night. If you book Tuesday, it'll be Tuesday night, Wednesday night. If you book Thursday, it'll be Thursday and Friday. So that's pretty much how it goes. All right. Someone said, how much will 5 trucks start cost? Will be starting cost? 5 trucks, you would just pretty much, I would say, if you have 5 trucks, you already paid for the LC, you already paid for the authority, right? So you would look at 5 different insurance payments. So whatever your insurance payments is, it would be 5 times that, and then 5 times rental. So I would say 5 trucks, you're looking at about, probably about close to 10 vans, somewhere around there to get up and running with, starting off with 5 trucks, if that makes sense. Someone said, I have the 6 months that Amazon wants to have, but need a 26-foot box truck. Go get you a rental, Mr. J. 79. Get you a rental truck, bro. You can start this with a rental truck if you already have what Amazon is needing. Someone said, how much is a realistic monthly payment with fuel, insurance, taxes? Realistic monthly payment, big catering. Are you talking about if you purchase a truck, or are you talking about renting a truck? If you're talking about purchasing a truck, I've seen people with depends on the how much you put down and that truck, anywhere between $1,500 to around $2,000. But a decent truck is going to cost you somewhere closer to $2,000 a month for a if you purchasing a truck, a fairly decent new truck. Someone says, what does the Tampa area look like on Amazon Relay? Oh, Jabari, I remember you. I ain't forgot you. When I get off this class, I'm gonna look at it for you. All right. Someone said all Saturday master classes come with installments planned. Yes. So my master classes, the next master class that's August 23rd does come with an installment plan. You can pay half now, then pay the next half before the class starts. So you can pay $499 and the next $499 before your class start. Or if you already bought my ebook, then you can join the class for $750. All you got to do is send an email to info@boxtruckshorty.com with the receipt that you purchased the ebook. That's on sale right now for $99, and then we let you in the class for $750. The class normally sells out. And I can guarantee you, the closer that we always get into towards peak season and Prime Day, which is coming up, which is the most, the most you're gonna make with Amazon Relay, period. Usually the classes start filling up pretty quick. And like I stated, if you don't want to wait till August 23rd, I do have a VIP mini class, which is like 2 people in the class. That's $1150 Monday through Thursday. And then I also have my one-on-one VIP class. Actually, I had somebody booked for tomorrow, but they needed to move. So I do have 1 slot for the VIP that's open tomorrow. That's $1250. Comes with everything that you need. Like I said, leasing on, how to manage your drivers, pretty much ask anybody in the class. We cover everything in these classes. All right. Someone say, let's say insurance quote is $1,500 a month. If I had 3 trucks, would I pay $1,500 per truck? Yes, you would. One-on-one, you sure will. Someone said, if I got start with a box truck, how do you get the loads if you don't have experience on how to get a dispatcher? So if you're starting with a box truck company, right? And let's say you don't have somebody that you can lease onto, and you don't take my master class. So you're not doing Amazon Relay for 180 days. This is what a lot of people ain't going to tell you. Most people are not going to survive. I would say 95% of the people that try to do the DAT load board or outside load boards outside of Amazon ain't going to survive. Why? The DAT load board, they pay pretty good on certain loads. You got to have a good dispatcher. And what they don't tell you is that the first 90 days to 180 days, a lot of brokers ain't going to touch you anyway. So you have to be able to really foot the insurance or the rental truck, or if you own a truck, you got to foot that note for 3 months without pretty much making money. You might do a load here, a load there. You can catch a little load, but it ain't going to cover your expenses. So you're going to be in the hole for the first 3 months trying to dig yourself out. So why do I say that? Because the DAT load board is not consistent like Amazon Relay. If you think about this, let me give you an example of the DAT load versus Amazon Relay. Let's say the DAT load board. I booked the load with the DAT load board. Let's say that load left Atlanta, Georgia, and it went to Memphis. I might book it, let's say I paid $700. Get to Memphis, and now when I get there, I got to have a dispatcher try to find me a load. They might not find me in a load today for 2 or 3 days. So now my truck is just sitting. I'm not making money. Every day your truck sit, you're not making money. So let's say you sit there for 2 days, right? Now you lost money for 2 days. You got to pay a driver or however you work that out with your driver because he's not making no money. Then let's say I got a load to go to Chicago. So then I take a load to Chicago and that load might be, let's say, $800. Then I get to Chicago. If I don't have a load when I get there, guess what I got to do again? Sit and wait till I find another load. Then I might find a load going to Houston. So I book a load to Houston. Might get to Houston, might not have another load. So wait, it's not consistent. It's not enough steady work that when you get there, you know you're going to have work when you get to that next destination. So a lot of people have to sit with the DAT load board. What else do you have to do? If you have a dispatcher, you have to pay that dispatcher 10%, right? Now, also with the DAT load board, you also more than likely going to use factoring because nobody wants to wait 30 days, 3 weeks to get paid. So that's another 2 to 4% that's going to come out of every load you have. Then on top of that, if you have a driver that's not a savage, that don't mind sleeping in his truck, guess what else you have to do? Every time your driver gets to someplace and it's time to sleep, he needs to actually, you got to get him lodging. So now you got to pay for what? DAT, you got to pay without that load pay, you got to pay the hotel, you got to pay a dispatcher, and you have to pay factoring. Now, you're not supposed to be sleeping in these trucks. Y'all heard me say that before, but I got ruffled some feathers with that. So if y'all sleep in them, y'all sleep in them, but you're not supposed to. All right. So anyway, to make that thing, so that's why it's not super consistent. Now let's go back to Amazon. Amazon is consistent. Your drivers are home every single day. I've been doing this for 4.5 years. I've never had a driver spend the night outside of his house, so I've never had to pay for lodging. Now, with the Amazon Relay, you do not need factoring because Amazon pays you every Thursday or Friday, depending on your bank. So that's another 2 to 4% you're saving right there. And then because of that, like I said, my drivers are home, no lodging. So with that being said, and no dispatcher. So I'm saving money on lodging, I'm saving money on the dispatcher, and I'm saving money on factoring. Guess what else I'm having? My drivers are home. So you can make all the money in the world, but if you're sleeping in a truck on the side of the road, peeing outside, or using truck stops to live, then guess what? You're going to have a high driver turnover rate too. A lot of people say, yeah, I'll do it. But it's hard, man. If you got a girl, you got a family, and you got, you know what I'm saying, loved ones at home, it's hard to be going for 3 weeks at a time. I don't care how much money you make. Money, if you can't spend it with your loved ones or have it to enjoy it, what's the purpose of it? So with Amazon Relay, Amazon is open 300, except 2 days Amazon is closed, New Year's and Christmas. Otherwise, I never have to decide if I'm going to eat. You get what I'm saying? Like, think about this. Let's just go back to just basic. Do you want to live your life like this? Thinking you might get a good steak dinner every night, or you might get your favorite food every night, like you might get it, or do you want to live your life where you know you're going to have food every single night? You know how much stress comes off life when you know something is guaranteed, when your bills is paid, you know you have food, you know your electricity. You see what I'm saying? So Amazon Relay is like a guaranteed. You know you have food coming every single night. You ain't got every night I go to bed. I don't gotta wake up if I gotta find work for my 5 trucks. I know my 5 trucks is gonna make money every single night. So that's the difference. If I had to do the dat low board where hoping with 5 trucks every single night, man, I would have been out of business. So the dat low board is for 1 truck, 1 person. You trying to just live like a savage, if that makes sense. So with that being said, join the masterclass. You can bypass the 180 days. We let you lease on. You can book all the loads you want with Amazon Relay. August 23rd is the next group masterclass. But if you don't want to wait that long, like I stated, come to do the VIP one-on-one. And I don't care what y'all see on the internet, who says what, who did this and who did that. All of them, nobody is making more money unless that person is doing consistently what I'm doing with Amazon Relay. All my money is made passively. Passively is like unlocking a cheat code in life where you don't have to work for it. So with that being said, I hope that made sense to you guys. Someone said, I just invested in a box truck. That's what's up. That's what's up. Someone said, looking to lease on ASAP. That's what's up, Mr. Shaw. Someone said most of the money is driving state to state. See, that's the thing, driving state to state. But you got to remember this, what I'm doing, and this is where, and it's funny because some people, when they understand it, it's like, you know, you watch The Matrix. I don't know how old some of you guys are, but they say you want the red pill or the blue pill. That's why I asked that question last week. Would you rather make $100,000 a year passively, or would you rather make $200,000 a year, but you're working 60 hours a week to get that money? Me, I'm the type of person, I like passive money. There's nothing in the world like waking up every single night and I made $1,000 that night. I don't want to work for money. If you want to call that lazy, call that lazy. But the key to making money is making money passively. So I don't want to drive the truck. If you guys know, I never drove a box truck. I started off with a driver. I came into the industry with a different mindset from everybody else. Everybody else was wanting to be truckers and wanting to be over the road and tell you trucker stories. I didn't want to tell you that. I came into the game with a business mindset of trying to figure out how can I make the most amount of money with the least amount of work, with the least amount of exposure, and the least amount of liabilities. And that's exactly what I did. And I think I changed the game because nobody was doing what I was doing when it came to this. But let me get back to the topic. The name is you can make more money driving a truck from state to state, but it's not going to be consistent money. Just like there's no one person, I don't care who it is, they make more money than me. I don't care if you're going every single day on the DAT load board. You're not making more money than me with Amazon on a nightly basis and a consistent basis. And that's just the truth of the matter. So the money is in definitely in scaling and consistency. Scaling and consistency. That's the name of the game. You know, so how much will it cost me to have you as my mentor? It only costs you $1,000. Realist 415. Most people that take my master class, I've been doing it for literally 2 years. 2 years of doing my master class. Go read my review. Google me. For you guys that's new to me, go Google me. Google me. No BS. I always tell people, and this is my thing, and I ain't nobody else on the internet probably do this. I'll give anybody $10,000 if you could find one person that said Box Truck Shawty scammed me. There's no way for me to scam you. You're not really giving me money. I'm showing you who to go to. I'm showing you how to get the contracts with Amazon. I'm showing you how to get your authority. So everything is a third party. You're not physically giving me $5,000 or no cash like that. So there's no way for me to scam you. Now, is everybody that's going to be successful that take my class? Absolutely not. There's no guarantee on anything in life. But one thing I can guarantee you is this. If you take my class, I guarantee you're going to have the information. You ain't going to find this information online. You ain't going to find it on YouTube. You ain't going to find it for free. Now, with that being said, the only thing I can't give you is the hustle and the grind. But what I can give you is the game, the information to be successful. Now, some students take the information and run with it and be super successful. Some people just slackers. You got to just remember, just everybody that go to Yale or let's say an Ivy League school, is everybody go to Yale or Harvard or go to medical school or law school, are they going to be successful? Absolutely not. But name one industry. Everybody go to NBA. Is they going to be successful? Are they going to be rich? No. There's nothing that everybody is going to be successful in. No industry. No different in trucking. But when somebody's not successful in trucking, like, oh, I tried it, I didn't do it. Well, guess what? That you one person that just didn't do it. But what I can tell you is that if you take the master class, I guarantee you will walk out of there. I ain't never had nobody take the master class and be like, man, it was a waste, or I shouldn't have did that, or I regret it. You're going to get what you paid for from A to Z. If you don't know nothing about trucking, or if you're already up and running and you tired of doing that load, boy, you tired of what they sold you over there about sleeping in the truck. And as I say, like, I don't know how young you people are, but they say, come to death row. You know what I'm saying? Remember Suge said that? You tired of the producer dancing in the video, all in the TV? Come to death row? Come to death row. Death row is Amazon Relay. Come to death row. That's where you're going to make your money at. All right. I've helped, like I said, my cousin Box Truck Wiz. He's been in the federal government for 21, 22 years. He still works his 9 to 5. He never drove a truck. If you want to drive, I can teach you that lane. If you don't want to drive, I can teach you that lane. There's nothing I can't teach you with a box truck. And like I stated, and I ain't bragging, but you can Google me. Like I said, Google me, Google them. I literally made it into the Forbes magazine. A lot of people think that's a light something to do. Everybody just ain't going to be featured in the Forbes. I don't care how much money you got, what you say, oh, you can do this, do that. Being featured in the Forbes magazine was a huge accomplishment. I was featured in Rolling Out magazine, a couple of other magazines. So with that being said, man, don't care about followers, don't care about likes or nothing like that. If you want something that's authentic, organic, and real, and I really genuinely love to help people. So I answer my own DMs. Like, there's a guy on here tonight. He's probably on one of my lives. And no BS, he was hitting me up on my thing on Facebook, and he didn't think he was speaking to me. He was like, are you on here, bro? I hope you on here. I don't want to put you on black, but he was like, man, let me see it. Wait, let me see if he's on here. Okay, yeah. Abdul, you on here? And he didn't believe it was me. And I was like, no, you speaking to Box Truck Shorty. He was like, no, I heard of the guy, but he didn't really believe it was me. I was like, man, look, hit my line, call me. And he literally called me and I spoke to him. He's like, man, I couldn't believe it that it was you that's actually responded back to me my messages. And I was like, yeah, I respond back. And I was explaining to him, I don't have nobody responding back to my messages because people ain't gonna treat your business like you are. I don't want nobody else trying to scam nobody or nothing crazy. So I know if you get a message back from me and it's at Box Truck Shorty, my real account, it's me. Same thing with YouTube. I only got one YouTube. I only got one TikTok. If everything I have is at Box Truck Shorty, no underscores, no hyphens, no twos, threes, or nothing like that. But when you inboxing me, you speak to me. That's how passionate I am about helping people. I don't got no VA. I ain't got no assistant. I ain't got no big well-oiled machine behind me. Leads generator funnels. Ain't no funnel. It's me. You know what I'm saying? So I like to help people. And that's why people's like, man, you can go ahead and put this way more out than you want to. I don't want to service more people than I can help. I think a lot of people, businesses, when they get caught up in making money, especially from a service-based business, the customer service or the service drop down because they're only concerned about numbers. I'm concerned about helping people change their life, change their family, generational wealth, and it's changing people's life, man. Like that's my biggest reward is when I walk out or I go somewhere and somebody's like, man, you changed my life. You opened me up to this, or I'm doing this now. Man, ain't no feeling in the world. Money can't give you that type of love, that type of feeling of genuinely helping somebody change their life. Seen a guy in Bibs, he was like, man, I just came home from prison and man, I'm in a box truck because of you. That's touching. You know what I'm saying? So that's that. I ain't gonna keep going about that, but I love helping people. So with that being said, I know I got a lot of stuff. Some say you're not ready to join the class, purchase the ultimate ebook on sale for $99. That's right. Purchase the ebook for $99. Someone said, what if I buy one and rent one? What's the rest of the trucks that I want? You can do that. So that's what I was just saying. You can buy a truck and then rent the other trucks because you can only own so many trucks. So rent the rest of the trucks, other trucks. Someone says, Amazon Relay pays every Friday for the loads completed before. Correct. Excuse me. Someone said your driver will be home every night. Amazon do availability of loads and local. When you lease on to your company, do you dispatch it yourself? How much does it cost to lease on with you? So they charge 10% to lease on. And yes, I dispatch all my trucks. I have 5 trucks. I dispatch them every day. I don't have a dispatcher. Literally, once you get the hang of this, with running, you can have a 9 to 5, you could be in school, you can have another business. I spend less than an hour a day running my business. And in a class, we show you how to run your business, how to manage your drivers. We have a performance management contract that we give. We show you how to hire drivers. We have a pay scale. Ask anybody that's in the class. We don't leave anything for you to try to figure out. This is not a class where you get in and you got to be like, man, what am I doing? Who do I need to reach out to? We don't have that. That's like a course. Courses is stuff you got to do it and take a test and figure some stuff out. You don't have to figure nothing out. Zero. Nothing. Someone said, would you suggest 5 trucks running multiple states or that's just too much work? No, I could do 5. I would do 5 trucks, but I would run it all in the same state. And let me tell you why. The difference is if you have 5 trucks, let me give you an example. I have 5 trucks, right? But I'm in Atlanta. My 5 trucks, all I need is a part-time driver to float through my trucks to give my drivers a day off so I can keep all my trucks moving. So if you have 5 trucks, right? But let's say one truck is in Atlanta, one truck is in Texas, Houston, one truck is in Dallas, one truck is in Cali, one truck is in Detroit. Now the catch is because you only have one truck there, now you're going to have a driver, an extra driver in all of those states to get that day, a driver a day off. Whereas if you have all in one place, it's a little bit more easier if that makes sense. All right. Someone says when you lease on, okay, I ran into that. It will book your load. Someone said, can you help leasing on with you or another company? Yes, we can help you get leasing on. Yes, we can. All right. That was a good question though, bro. And all my services can be booked at boxtruckshorty.com. If you're on this live and you're kind of scared to ask a question and use more a little bit more private, I do offer 30 minutes and 60-minute consultation. Guess who else you speak to when you book your consultation? You don't speak to no VA, somebody that's reading off a pamphlet trying to answer your questions. You speak to me. I answer your question. You speak directly with me. In my masterclass, do I have a VA teaching it? No, I'm teaching it. I can't teach nobody how to be Box Truck Shorty. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not going to shortchange you and drop a price down to $500 to have 1,000 people in a class and somebody reading off a chalkboard or a script. No, I teach you. All right. Someone said if a driver gets into an accident while under your authority, how is to handle financially and legally? Because they have their own insurance too, so it doesn't really affect my authority. So that's it. And I've never had that. So I ain't got no wood to knock on, but I've never had that. Right. Someone said, dang, I bought a truck first. Nothing wrong with it, bro. If you bought a truck, ain't nothing wrong with it. You bought a truck, there's nothing wrong with it. Just keep that money, that budget money, ready for that truck to get up, just for maintenance and get that truck. And if you're gonna buy a truck, I always tell people to buy a fleet truck. That means a truck that's been like Ryder, Enterprise, or Budget, because that truck has been serviced. They call it in every couple, 3 or 4 months to do this thing called a PM, where they change stuff. They make sure the truck has their maintenance on it. Whereas you just buy a truck from a personal person, you know how people do. We ain't gonna maintenance nothing till when it breaks down. So that's the same thing with that. Someone said, makes sense. I'm gonna check out the rental with Enterprise. Yes. So it is also a rental. So I'm gonna tell you this. I ain't gonna say it on here, but how you set up your account with the rental company makes the difference. I've seen people that get rates that's $800,000-$900,000 and be like, oh, you can't make no money with rental. If your rental is $700, $800, $900 base rate, you ain't gonna make no money. I'm gonna tell you that. However, if you come through my program, my system, I'll show you how to get your rentals between 500 and like 550, usually about 500, 525 a week, 13, 15 cents a mile. But everything is how you set it up in the information. There's a process to setting up that account. It ain't just calling over the phone, say, hey, let me set up an account. Is a system to it. All right. So that's that. So that's that part. And also, like I always like to explain to people, when you're looking at the load board, for somebody just asked me this, the difference between the DAT load board and Amazon is this. When you look at the DAT load board, the DAT load board pretty much loads is what you see, what you get. If there's a load on there going from Atlanta to Chicago and it says paying $1,200, then guess what? That load is only paying $1,200. Now you might can negotiate them up a little bit, but with that being said, it's hard to get them up a whole lot. So that's just what it is. Whereas, and people judge the Amazon load board just like the DAT load board. Amazon is completely different. Amazon will throw loads on the load board for days in advance. Let's say 300-400 loads. Every load on that load board matures. So if you guys stop booking loads days in advance, book loads in the day that it is. And it's funny because people only use this concept usually during Prime Day, where they'll let the loads sit. On the load board, you look, there's $900 loads sitting all you can see all day. That's the only time of the year it seems like people use their sense of letting these loads mature. Why not use that same concept throughout the year? Let the loads mature. If you let these loads mature, Amazon will pay more. All right. So that's just my thing. So Amazon, letting the load mature. All right. Never book loads days in advance. I have to say that every single time because I don't know which one of you guys gonna watch my videos or which video you watch, but never book loads days in advance. Let me give you an example. If you book a load, let's say today is Wednesday. Let's say if you booked a load for tomorrow, that load might pay $300, $400. If you just wait, I'm talking about out of Prime Day and out of peak season, that same load that's paying $300, $400 is now paying $550, $600, a little bit more. If you book all of your loads in the day that it is, okay? So book your loads in the day that it is. And this is where Amazon, I'm just gonna break it down because I always talk about this in the lab. Amazon prey on us not knowing how they work. So Amazon do this. Amazon will throw loads on the load board. Let me give you a quick example. Amazon will throw loads on the load board for days in advance, right? Now, what most people do is they use their brain and thinking, all right, loads is just like the DAT load board because the DAT load board, you will book those loads during business hours. You can't call, what time is it? You can't call at 10 o'clock at night on a DAT load board and book a load. Why? Because the DAT load board, the dispatch and the brokers are closed. So most people want to book loads between 9 and let's say 4 or 5 o'clock with the DAT load board. So when we get to the Amazon load board, we're thinking the DAT load board is just like, Amazon is just like the DAT load board. So guess when we start to look to book loads between 9 and 5 p.m., that's the biggest mistake you can do. Because when you look at the load board, what happens is usually you don't see a load that's leaving that night. The loads that you see between 9 and 5 is usually probably leaving tomorrow, which will be Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Then you're going to go back at, let's say you looked at 12 o'clock and you see no loads for tonight. And you saw loads for tomorrow. Then you go back at 1 o'clock. You see loads for tomorrow. You go back at 3 o'clock. You go back at 5. You're like, man, I don't see no loads for for tonight. So guess what human nature is going to tell you? To book those loads for tomorrow because you don't want tomorrow to come. You got a truck note, you got insurance, you got a driver. So guess what you do? You get antsy and you book that load today for tomorrow and the next day. But guess what? If you wait till 9, 10 o'clock at night, that's when the loads come on the load board for tonight. So the Amazon Relay load board works completely different from the DAT load board. I spoke about this a little bit last time, but I never really broke it down. So that's how it works. It works different. Never book loads in the morning, never book loads days in advance. And that's how you will succeed with Amazon Relay. So there you go. I gave y'all another part of my master class in the class. So that's just a little gym right there. Someone said, "How's it going for you?" Is they talking to somebody else? Someone said he doesn't offer mentorship, but he teaches master classes. Someone says 25 deposit and 650 a week, 2,500 deposit, 650 a week, and 22 cents a good deal. No, anything over 550 right now is not a good deal with the rental truck. Anything over 15 cents a mile is not a good price with a rental truck. But like I stated, grab my ebook. It's 99 bucks. It'll walk you through getting that discounted rate with the rental companies. They'll walk you through getting ELDs. They'll walk you through pay scale. So like I said, if you don't want to join the masterclass, that's fine. No problem. But definitely grab that ebook, which is on sale. Someone said, when is the next prime? The next prime is in October. But when you get your trucks in October, keep them and keep scaling up to prime. To peak season. So the next thing we have is prime in October. It'll be another 4 days, which is great. But then after that, right in November comes peak season. That's what most people go crazy. The lows even be way better than prime day during peak season. So that's, if you start now, you don't have nothing, you don't know nothing about Amazon Relay. You heard about this, you heard about that from somebody else, and you want to get in the trucking, go ahead and get up and running. Still, like I said, it costs about $5,000 to get up and running. You can literally, if you have zero, today is, what's today? The 16th. You say you don't want to wait till August 23rd to take the next big master class. You're like, you know what, Jabbar, I'm gonna jump on a master class with you next week. Because I got some slots too next week, I believe, for the VIP master class, right? You book that VIP master class. Let's just say, what's next week? Let's just look at the calendar. Let's just say you booked it next week, the 23rd. If you booked it the 23rd, literally within 30 days, you can be up and booking loads by the following month. So by August 23rd, by the next big masterclass, you will be literally probably up and running. Depends on how aggressive you are. If you get everything set up, like your LLC, your authority, and all of that. So literally in 30 days, you can be booking loads. So right now, if you start, you will not only catch peak. I keep saying peak season. You will catch peak season, but you will also catch prime day, which is in October, where the loads go crazy. All right. Someone said, I hope I didn't make a mistake with purchasing the truck instead of renting. No, it's no mistakes. Bro, just make sure that truck is serviced and keep it moving. Don't worry about that. Just keep it moving. Ain't nothing you can do about that now. But just going forward, rent them trucks and keep it moving. Because like I stated, if you own a truck, there's nothing wrong with renting a truck to make money. Someone said, with all this information that's on your ebook, to sell it for 99 bucks is insane. Yes, only 99 bucks is on sale. Normally it used to be 300, then I dropped it down to 199, but now it's down on sale for 99 bucks. Like literally all of the sauce. It's not no, like, I know people so skeptical about everything online because you think y'all can chat GTP thing or find this or whatever. My ebook is 76 pages long. We don't only just cover how to get up and running. We cover how to get up and running, how Amazon work, how to pay your drivers, how to manage your drivers. It comes with everything. It's just the only thing it doesn't come on with leasing on options. What are you going to do for the first 180 days? It comes with the ebook for doing the DAT load board. If you want to do the DAT load board in conjunction with Amazon, we cover that too. So if you want to be a dispatcher, that's in there as well. So 99 bucks, you can blow 99 bucks, get the book, read it, and you be like, you know what? I see what he's saying. I get what he's saying, and then join the masterclass. It's $750. We already got the ebook. So, all right. Someone say, speaking nothing but the truth. What's up, Coley? Coley, that's my homegirl, my day one. Yeah, and I know I've been talking about getting this meet and greet going. I ain't gonna stay on here too long because I try not to stay on here about an hour, but I got on here late tonight. I wasn't even gonna do it today. I was just ripping and running. I'm about to go out of town this weekend. And guess what? You know what's the crazy thing about it? I was out of town 2 weeks ago at the Essence Fest where I saw Coley at. But guess what? I'm still making money when I'm on when I go out of the country, going to Mexico. So guess what? As long as they got Wi-Fi and I got cell phone services, I can book all of my loads. That's the beauty of making money passively. A lot of people get it confused with working in your business and working on your business. They look similar, but two different things. So with that being said, working on your business is a little bit different from working in your business. Working in your business requires you to physically still do a lot of the work. I'm over that part of my life of trying to work for money. Someone said used to, but I bought it from a rental company, so I have the whole history of the trucks they service it. Yeah, that's good. So that's good. I'm glad you did buy a fleet-owned truck. That makes a lot of sense. Someone said we have some exciting thing coming in our lease on program. Lock it. Yes. So yeah, we got some more stuff that's about to drop for our lease on program. For the new people that's coming, excuse me, and the old people. I'm not going to discuss it now because we still finalizing, but we got some more valuable information that's coming to the lease on program. So if you join the master class, you're gonna get even more worth of your money than that. So if that makes sense, I'm trying to get a good, reliable dispatch, but hard from what I'm seeing. That's why I'm trying to get with you, bro. Forget the dispatcher. Come to Amazon Relay, bro. Come to Amazon. You even got to worry about that no more. But yeah, I am trying to have someone say, "What's up, man? Took your master class and wondering if blocks are still the way to go, or booking outbound and inbound is better." I like to book outbound. Just my loads on the day that it is. So the day that it is when I book mine. Someone says offers 2 days. Yep, the 2 day driver training. In Atlanta is 350, and the ride along is 400. So yes, so I know I always been trying to get this meet and greet coming up. Meet and greet. Like I stated, for you guys that don't know, I started a tequila company a couple months ago, earlier this year, right here. Been working on it, still, in the process of finalizing all of that. Still a few months before it's actually delivered. So I was trying to wait until I have my liquor actually here to actually have the next meet and greet, but I don't want to push it too far into the end of the year because I don't know. That's what probably around the time my liquor will be dropping the next 3 or 4 months. But so I'm thinking, I always been saying this, but that's the only thing that's been stopping me from having a meet and greet. Man, we had 130 something people come to the last meet and greet. It was real estate, it was business credit, it was people who flip houses, people who wholesale houses, dispatchers, compliance. I mean, you name it, different aspects of the industry. We all came to one roof. It was a great thing. So it just wasn't only trucking, and it was a dope event. So I'm thinking I got to pick a day in September. We'll be in July. So that should give us enough, either September, end of September, early October, that I'm going to actually have this meet and greet. Because I know that's why I keep hearing people saying, man, when's your next meet and greet? When's your next meet and greet? Someone said, you're not making money when your truck is sitting, but you still got to pay the bills that's coming in. Listen, he's speaking nothing but the truth. That's right. That's right, Coley. We need guaranteed money. I know that's right. So what's if I'm fixing my credit so I can fund it? Do you leasing to own until I can get funded? Yeah, you can do that. But you don't even have to lease to own. You can just rent, beautiful Nesky. You can rent your truck. So let me tell you the other good thing about this too, real quick, before we kind of start shutting down. Amazon Relay, zero background check. So if you got a background, you a felon, you a 2-time, 3-time felon, whatever it is, but you having a hard time finding a job, the good thing about Amazon Relay, there's no background check, there's no credit check. I get in debates about people doing this. For 4.5 years, there's zero credit check. Why? Because when you apply to Amazon Relay, you're applying to Amazon Relay in a business name. There's no background check on a business. You can't do that. That doesn't make sense. So you're a subcontractor for Amazon Relay. That's not Amazon DSP. Amazon DSP, the Sprinter vans and the little cargo vans, anytime somebody's delivering freight to somebody's house, then is a background check. But with Amazon Relay, what we do is we pick up freight from a distribution center and you either go to another Amazon facility or we go to the post office. There's zero background check. So you could be on parole, probation. You can have the criminal record of this world, but you still can do Amazon Relay because there's zero background check. Let's say credit, you won't have no credit. You fresh out of the jail, or you went through divorce, or you just have bad credit. There's zero credit. You do not need credit. Matter of fact, like I was thinking, I don't even think I ever gave my social to start this business at all. So it's zero credit, zero background. So you should have what? Zero excuses because there's nothing that's stopping you. So Amazon Relay is background friendly, credit friendly. So you don't have to own a truck. You don't have to buy a truck. You can have your 9 to 5. You can still have a job. So what other excuse it is? I mean, I don't know how to tell people it don't get much easier than this. So, I mean, because usually if you ask anybody that has another business outside of this, usually it takes like 5 years for you to start making money in a business. So with that being said, you can make a lot of money in trucking. Someone said Amazon is a great day to start entering logistics, no dispatcher, no broker, no carrier packets, no factoring. Right. So when I book a load with Amazon, right? So if I go book a load with Amazon, there's no carrier packet. There's nothing to fill out every week. Like if you're doing the DAT load board, you got to fill out a carrier packet, speak to a broker, email a broker, a lot of that back and forth. No, you go to the Amazon Relay load board, you hit book, the load is yours. guess what? Next week, Friday or Thursday, whatever your bank, you get paid automatically. There's nothing you have to do to actually physically get paid. So Amazon is super easy, super simple. It don't get more simple than this. Like it almost felt like, I'm telling you, man, my life felt like I'm cheating life right now. You know what I'm saying? Like it's so easy, it's so simple. Being able to work and make this kind of money with the least amount of work, working like an hour a day. I do whatever I want to do out the day. Like it almost don't feel like it should be legal. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I'm doing something wrong. So I say, can you talk to about the dispatcher for these drivers? Like, what's the sort of communication are you having with drivers every night? So yes, I do have that. So I have a system that I use that I cover in the masterclass on showing you. I have a driver performance management contract that I sign with my drivers to let them know the do's, the don'ts, and how to check in and confirmation process. But we do cover that in the class, like in its entirety. I show you how to manage your drivers. So like I said, man, in the masterclass, we leave nothing unturned. If you can think about it, we already thought about it and we already came up with a solution for you, because I know a lot of people are afraid to hire drivers, but I show you how to do that. I show you how to have that something in right between your drivers for the consequences if they late, consequences if they miss a load. So ask anybody that's took my masterclass, and usually there's a few people in here where I can attest that yes, it is. We do cover that in the class as well. Thank you for the gym on the rental versus buying at first. No problem. What did he say? Someone said, do Amazon really have no touch freight, or do the drivers have to load? Good question. So Amazon to Amazon is no touch, but if it's Amazon to a post office, then you or your drivers have to actually pick up the loads. Load the truck. But it's only 12 pallets that can fit on the truck, so it's not a lot of work, if that makes sense. How do you contact Box Truck Wiz if I don't have a social media? Chauncey, send me a message and then I can get you in contact with him. All right, that's my cousin. That's my first cousin, so I can get you in contact with him. Someone said, "Can we do a rental? Can we get a rental without owning a truck?" Yes. So that's what I do. I don't own any trucks. I've been a truck for 4.5 years, and I don't own not one of my trucks. Not one. Someone said money is in the consultation and using your mind to scale up. That's right, Michael. You're absolutely right. Someone said this is the way I'm trying to do it. Have drivers work for me so I can be home with my kids when they need me or school call me. I feel you. That is priceless. So I feel like me being able to go to my son's soccer practice, like my other kids, when I was working 9 to 5, I worked all the time. I was working on Saturdays. I didn't get to see no games. I didn't get to go to no events. I had to go on vacation. We had blackout days from Thanksgiving to Christmas. I ain't never been off on a day before, a day after Christmas or Thanksgiving. So to be able to be off and go to all my son's events, anything he wants to do, when I go to Disney World, whatever I want to do, that is priceless. So money, it ain't all about the money, it's about the freedom, if that makes sense. Being able to buy back your freedom and your time to do what you want to do. And like, I always tell you guys in my class, I watched my mother work until she died trying to put me through college. And I stated that I don't want to do that. I don't want to work until I die. I don't want to work until I get sick. And I don't want to work until they want to get rid of me. So with that being said, I'm so happy I got into trucking. And it's by accident. The pandemic was bad, but you gotta, as they say, take lemon and turn it into lemonade. I took that and turned it into lemonade, because if not, I would have been real estate shorty. I would have been continue to flipping houses. I was making a killing in the housing market. But whatever it is, man, if you got that grind and hustle, you're gonna be successful in it. I don't care if it's real estate you put me in. I don't care if it's logistics you put me in. And now, like, my next business venture, like you hear me always talk about, it's called Raylos Tequila. Go follow my business page. I'm about to get off of here, but with that being said, man, if you put your mind to anything and you get you a mentor or somebody that know what they're doing, there's nothing that nobody can stop you. And I know it sounds cliche or elementary, but man, nobody can stop you if you have the right information and you got the right grind. So with that being said, I know I already showed you guys my liquor, but go follow it. It's called Raylos Black and Gold. This is the Reposado. It will be out, like I stated, in the next couple months. Raylos. This is the Repo right here. It's good too. Guess what? No additives like the big boys. I ain't gonna call no names, but a lot of the big tequilas got additives and all of that stuff in it. This is 100% agave. No BS, no fillers, none of that. And it tastes good. We did a taste testing with a lot of samples, and this is what they like. That's the Repo, and this is the Blanco right here. Blanco bottle. It's the Blanco is, Blanco liquor, tequila is clear, black and silver crown. And then I don't have my Anejo, But then I also have the Cristalino. Cristalino, you know, is like Blanco, Repo, then is Anejo, and then Cristalino, which is, you know, above that. So wish you could see the details on that. So yes, man, I'm super excited. Can't wait till my liquor come out. So think about it, from real estate to trucking to a liquor brown business. And like I said, we're gonna take over the world with this liquor. And I was trying to wait until I get my real bottles out so I can have the meet and greet. But I think I'm gonna go ahead and pick a date in September so we can get you guys to a meet and greet and, you know what I'm saying, politic and network with each other. Because I love, like I said, networking. I love helping people. But with that being said, I'm definitely going to get off that because we're pushing up on an hour. Thank you guys for joining. We'll be back on next week, Wednesday. I hope to see you guys at the top. All right, take care. All right, YouTube. Hope to see you guys next week. So Chauncey, yeah, reach out to me next week. Reach out to me. You can send me an email at info at boxtruckshorty.com, and then I'll get you in contact with my cousin. All right. Freedom by the mile. Thank you, bro. Thank you. So catch up with you guys next week later. All right. Hope to see you at the top. All right. Take care.